Hello, everybody, and welcome to lesson 3 in our booklet called Expressions and Equations 2. It's yellow, and this is page 18. Make sure you're on the right page. Make sure you listen to the audio. So this is going to be a little tricky. So this might be something new to you that you've never seen before. So hang in there. Sometimes it makes more sense after a while, not the first time. So we're doing number puzzle problems, and we will use our equation solving skills, which I'm not sure if we have those yet. So we still have to practice a lot, but you'll get better as the more you practice to solve number problems, giving visual and written clues. This right here, this is called a 100 chart. Why? Because it has the numbers 1 to 100 in order, right? And we're going to use this chart over and over again. So please use a pencil so that you can erase to start a new question when you work these out, okay? This is a 100 chart. State 2 patterns you notice on the chart. That's up to you what kind of patterns you see. I see that if I go down the columns, it always adds 10. And if I go across diagonally, it always adds 11. So that would be from 1 to 12 is 11 plus 11. From 12 to 23 is plus 11. By the way, use a calculator on this. So I'm going to write that down. Make sure you have a calculator handy next to you and use it. Okay, because your buttons are new to you and sometimes we fumble around and it takes forever to figure out where's the equal sign and whatever. I want you to get really familiar so you can do these questions quickly, okay? All right, so suppose a 100 chart is cut into puzzle type pieces. So we're taking out 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers from our number chart. Right numbers, or here's the deal, algebraic expressions. Remember, an expression has a variable and a number. A variable could be any letter. It stands for a number. It represents a number. So we're going to use the letter N for number to represent values in each rectangle. Because number 2 starts out with a number, we're going to use numbers. If it starts out with a letter, we're going to use algebraic expressions. So I'm going to put N behind that. So whenever you see something with N, which means number, we're going to use that N instead of a number. Here, 45. Let's go to 45 in our 100 chart. What's the next number after 45? So what I would like you to do, use your pencil. You cut out the piece, the puzzle piece that they're giving us. 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 46, 44, and 43. So that's pretty easy. I'm just looking at the numbers. Yeah, 45 is given. The next one is 46. The one before is 44. And the one before that is 43. I'm hoping that makes sense to you. It's pretty easy so far. Now we're going to use, so this is called a number expression. Because it started out with a number. Now we're starting out with algebraic, meaning algebra. We're using algebra, which is a form of math that uses numbers combined with variables or letters. Yeah, algebraic expression to represent values in each rectangle. Now let's look. We got 3 in a row. You don't know what number N is. N is any number. Any number. So I'm going to my chart here and I pick any number. You can pick one on the edges, but it makes more sense to pick one in the middle. So I'm using 54. I'm just making that my number N. I'm picking it myself, any number, okay? So what would be the next number? 55, right? But we're not using numbers, we're using algebraic expressions. So 55 would be, in terms of N, N plus what? 1, right? Because 54 plus 1 is 55. So I'm cutting out this puzzle piece, 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. And I'm writing these numbers in terms of n. This one would be number 56, and that means n, which is my beginning number, plus 2. 54 plus 2 is 56. These are the expressions you need. You don't need the numbers. You can pick any number. I picked 54 to get me started. Okay, algebraic. So algebra and then IC at the end, expression. Using variables, yeah? Okay, now we're going to number 3. It has a number again. It's giving us a number, 68. So I'm erasing this. And I'm going to go to 68. In my 100 chart. And then I'm going to look at this pattern and cut it out. It's 2 below. So from 68, I'm going to go down 2, over 1, back up, and then 2 numbers here. So this is my puzzle piece. Correct? 3 stacked up on top, and in the middle, 2 over. 1, 2, 3. So this is my puzzle piece. I'm using the numbers. So 68, and then that would be 78, and that would be 88. This is 79. So it's a cutout of my 100 chart. There. Easy when we have numbers. That's called a number expression or numerical expression. Harder when we have only letters. Okay, we're going to fill these in terms of n. So if they're giving you n, you have to pick a number. You don't know the number n, so you can pick any number. And again, I like a number in the middle, so we can go up and over and stuff. So I'll take 54. Well, let's do, I'm going to take a different number so you don't think it's always 54. How about if I take 46 is my number n? Okay, I'm just picking it. Okay, so if this is n, then I'm going to cut out this puzzle piece. Does this match that? Looks like it, right? So this is number 45 and this is 55, but we don't want the numbers, we want n. Well, if this is 45, I'm putting it up here, then I'm taking 1 away from n. So if I take 1 away, I have to subtract 1. And then if I do this 55, right? If I go down, that's 55 here. In terms of n, I have to do, what's the difference? 55 minus 46. Use your calculator, it's 9. Is it plus 9 or minus 9? Think about it. It's 55. 46 plus 9. 46 plus 9 is 55. So it's n, which is 46 plus 9. Those are my, and all these numbers are just to help me. They're not, we want, and this right here is the math, how I did it. N plus 9 is this number. So I erase my, I'm going to erase my side work here. Okay, so this one I want you to do for homework. Number 4, that's numbers. You can do that right now. Find the number 28. Again, I'm going to erase my old work. So it's numbers, so it's easier. That's why I'm giving you that one. find the number 28, and then cut out the puzzle pieces. It's a big one. 1, 2 to the left and 1 to the right. 28, 2 to the left and 1 to the right. And then, come on, move, and then up and over 2. Is that right? My thing won't move very easily. It's having another breakdown. Yeah. So it's like this. And then down 1. I believe that's it. So you can fill in these numbers here. Correct? So that's your homework. Now number 7 is with N. So I'm going to lead you through that again. This is easy because it's numbers. Harder because we have variables. So I'll do that with you. So N, I pick any number for N. Pick any number for N. And I like mine in the middle because then I can go up, over, and around, and I'm not heading toward the edge, right? So let's look at N. I'm going to erase my old question. So let's see if we can take, how about if we take 65? This is my N. And then I'm going to go over 3. I have to cut this puzzle piece out. So I'm going to go over 3. And then up 2 and 1, like a little tower. And I think I have to do that same on the bottom. Down 2 and 1. I believe that's how it looks, the puzzle piece. So I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I only have 4. Oh, okay, I see what I did. I don't need that down here. So it's harder for me to copy it because I have to scroll back and forth. It shouldn't be that hard for you to copy these little puzzle pieces. Now it matches, yeah? Okay, now let's look what numbers they are. I'm putting the numbers on top because we are going to erase the numbers in the end. It's not the numbers we're looking for, it's the connection to our original number N. Yeah, you always start out with this original number N. Everything based on this, okay? 65. Oopsie daisy. Let's make this prettier. So the original N is the one that gets all the attention. So that's 66, 67. And then I'm going to look up here, 56, 57. And then up on top is 47. And then on the bottom here, we have 76 and 77. And those are just to put down to give you a good idea what to do. You're going to erase these in the end. These are not what we're looking for. So it starts here. Everything compares to first number, to N. Okay, so this 66 obviously is N plus 1, right? Because if you add 1 to 65, you get 66. It's all starting here. 67 is N plus 2 because you're adding 2 to our original number. Make sense? Now let's look up here, 56 and 65. I know it's less, so I'm going to subtract something. What am I subtracting? Find the difference between 65 and 56. Use your calculator if you have to. I believe it's 9. So, yep. So we're subtracting 9. So the original number minus 9, 65 minus 9 gives you 56, correct? Yeah, and see, this is how I found that number. I subtract. Okay, now we're going over to 57. I'm going to compare 57 to 65. So 65 minus 57. See why you need a calculator to do this quick? It's 8. And we're subtracting it from our original number because it's smaller. 65 minus 8 is 57, correct? Up here, it's 47 and 65. So I need to connect the two and find out the difference. So I take the bigger number and I subtract the smaller in this case. So that would be 18, I believe. Yeah. And up here, I'm going to add because it's getting bigger. Do you notice 76 is bigger? So I know I have to add it to my original number. And I'm going to find out the difference between 76 and 65. I think it's 11. Yeah. So I'm adding 65 plus 11 is 76. You see how I get that? Yeah, plus 11. That's an 11. It's a little tricky. And then 77, I'm going to skip over to that. It's n, my original number, plus 12. So I have filled in my chart, and I want to erase all these numbers because they're just help mates, help you figure out the expression, the algebraic expression. And this is scratch work. We'll do away with it. So there's my algebraic expression puzzle piece. Okay, you pick any number for n, go to your chart, cut out the puzzle piece, write down the numbers above it, and then figure out what's the comparison to n. How do we get there? Okay, and I did that by subtracting. Remember, bigger number minus smaller number. So this one is your homework. Make sure you fill it in if you haven't done so already. And now we're done with this page. We're going to go to page 20. Page 20, down here, see that? Go up and practice 5. Let's start this in this lesson and you finish it. Let the variable n represent some number. Match the expression with the word descriptions. Some may be used more than once. It's always good to read the instructions. Some may not be used at all. Okay, 5 more than a number. It's plus. More than means plus. So go over there. 5 plus a number. Where do you see it? Which one says 5 plus a number? It's C, right? N plus 5. So that would make it C. 5 less than a number. Less is subtracting, but it's the end. The 5 goes in the end. Less than is one of those words that are a little tricky. Okay, so 5 less than a number means n minus 5. A number, take away 5. Not, I'm going to write that here, not 5 minus n. Okay, so that's not it. It's the n, the 5 less than a number, E. A number increased by 5. Increasing means we adding. Let's see again. Remember, we can have it more than once. n plus 5. The difference between a number and 5, difference is subtract number n and 5. Could that be E again? Yep. The difference between a number and 5. The product means multiplying. Product of a number and 5. A. I guess I'll finish it. We're almost done with this. Quotient of a number and 5. Quotient means dividing or fraction. The quotient of a number and 5 is B. The order matters. Number is listed first, so it goes on top. 5 is listed last, so it goes on the bottom. Okay, so that would be B. Twice the sum of a number and 5. So do the sum of a number first. So that comes first. And then multiply that by 2. Yeah, so let's look. That's F. The sum of a number and 5 is n plus 5 times 2. And twice a number increased by 5. So this is twice the number comes first. And then add 5. That's H. Twice a number plus 5. Okay, so those are these sentences changed into expressions. These are called expressions. Okay, explain why 5 plus n and 5 times n are not equivalent. One is add 5. The other one, so this is adding, this is multiplying, is multiply by 5. So now when we are getting into higher math, 5 times a number n means multiplying. You can also see this. This is the same, or 5 times n. Those are all multiplying. Yeah. Just to give you an idea what it looks like. We do not use 5 times n. We don't use that anymore. Times from elementary school is out in algebra because it's a variable. X's might be a variable, and so we cannot use it for multiplication. Okay, now we're getting to the bottom of this page. Now it gets really hard because you're looking at this symbol here. What is this? You see it sometimes at fraternities of college fraternities. It's a Greek letter. It's called sigma. So let's write that down. So it's like a line, then like a funny looking E. This is called sigma, Greek letter. And it means sum. Sum means you add. Yeah, add. It just means what's the sum. The sum here is 138. 138. That's all this means. Yeah, sum. Okay, so we got this letter out of the way, little funny looking symbol. Okay, so now we have an expression n and the next number. So this is any number. We don't know what number it is. The next one is n plus 1. We also use this one. That would be n plus 2. Am I right? If let's say n is 1, this would be 2, this would be 3 because they're in a row, correct? So we have n plus 1, n plus 2. Make sure you use this little square as well. And now let's write an equation. If I add all the numbers, remember it's sum. You add. And the second number, and then the third number. So I'm going to put parentheses around it so you see it better. And then the third number, if I add all these numbers, which are just expressions using n, the sum has to be 138. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So these are three numbers. Three separate consecutive numbers. The word is consecutive. Consecutive numbers. Just like a little blurb here. The word consecutive, you'll see that more, okay? So now we need to find these numbers. We need to figure out what's n, what's the next number, what's the third number to add up to 138. You can play a little puzzle and think what three numbers add up to 138 that are in a row. Consecutive means they're in a row. Or you can do the cups. Remember, we have three variables. So we have three cups. 1, 2, 3. Then we have +1, +2, and then we have that equal sign, and then we have 138 pluses, which I'm not gonna write down, so I'll just go ... There's 138 of them. Okay, the equal sign is our fulcrum, our scale. This is the left side, this is the right side. It has to balance out. This side has to equal that side. Notice we have the pluses. I can take these off on both sides, the same amount. So now all I have left is three variables, n equals, and how many of the number? It's 138 minus 3 is 135. Correct? Take 3 away. So that means each variable is 135 divided by 3. And that means our variable is 45. Use 135 divided by 3, use your calculator. So this is really n. So our first number is 45. Our next number is 46. Our third number is 47, 45, 46, 47. And if you check and add them together, remember it's sum. 45 plus 46 plus 47. And use your calculator. It should be 138. Yep. I checked it out. Make sure I'm correct. Yep, see how that matches? So we found the right numbers. So the key is to find these numbers that add up to 138, and they're consecutive next to each other in our 100 chart. Correct? Now I'm going to show you another way to solve these equations. This was with the cups. Remember the cups I introduced you to and the symbols? But we can also do algebra, which some of you might prefer at this point because it's so much faster. If you understand it, this cup and pluses and minuses is a little tedious. So let's look at number 11. Okay. So I know this is the one before that. So it's going to be n minus 1. Actually, let's do this properly. Let's do this like we did before. Let's go to our 100 chart and we're going to cut this out. And I'm going to pick a number for n. So I have to go back to my 100 chart. Unfortunately, back and forth. And I'm going to pick a number in my 100 chart and make that the number, ouch, make that the number n. Okay, so I have picked for n 24. So I'm going to write up here let n equal 24. It's up to you what number you pick. I just like to pick one that's more in the center, okay? So according to 24, I make my little puzzle piece. If you look at your number 11, this is the puzzle piece that matches my problem, correct? 3 over, 3 up. 24 is right here. This is my starting point, n, yeah? Now let's go back to our assignment and notice that if n is 24, which I picked, up to you, this is 23, this is 25, this is 15, and this is 5. I put my numbers slightly to the side because we will erase them. The sum has to be 92. We will also use this rectangle here, okay? Now let's write expressions. So if this is n minus 1, am I right? Because we're subtracting 1 from 24. This is n plus 2 plus 1 because we're adding 1 to 24. This over here is n minus 9 because 24 minus 9 is 15, correct? And this one is n minus 19. You can work all that out with your calculator because 24, this is my starting point, minus 19 equals 5. So this is how you fill in your expressions. And I'm going to erase the numbers because they are really only there to help me figure out my expression. Okay, now I have that. Now the sum is 92, but I have to add all of these up. So I'm going to write it out. Watch. I'm going to count my n's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5n. Or you can write n minus 1 plus n plus n plus 1 plus n minus 9. You can do that. Plus n minus 19 equals 92. The sum is 92. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive integers. No, they're not consecutive. I'm sorry, they're not in a row. You have 5 integers to solve for. Now let's count the n's. How many n's do we have? 1, I'm going to make them red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means we have 5n. They're gone. I can cross them out. I got them right here. And now I have to count the numbers. -1 plus 1 is a 0 pair. They go away. That's 0. So don't write those down. -9 plus -19 is, I'm going to add 9 plus 19 and keep it negative. -28. So 5n minus 28. So I got your numbers are done equals 92. Now we have a much shorter equation. Yeah, you combine your n's and combine your numbers. Okay, now draw a line through the equal sign. This is our fulcrum, our scale. Yeah, left side, right side. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. And you always do the opposite. You're going to move the 28 over to this side by adding it to both sides. -28 plus 28 is a 0 pair. They cancel each other out. Now the 28 is over here. Remember, it's the opposite sign. Both sides. All you have left is 5n on this side equals 92 plus 28, use your calculator, is 120. So you're really right here now. This is the same step as this. Now, if we divide both sides by, we're going to divide by 5, both sides. Fraction is division. It's a multiplication problem. The opposite is dividing. So you're going to divide. These cancel out. Top and bottom cancels. Don't cancel the number n. 120 divided by 5 is, I believe, 24. Use your calculator. The number n is 24. Well, that was 24, what I had, right? Didn't I pick 24? That's weird. Doesn't have to be, guys. Don't know why I picked 24. So that's 24. This is n minus 1 is 23. n plus 1 is 25, n minus 9, 24 minus 9 is 24 minus 9 is 15. 24 minus 19 is 5. You know what, guys? It does not have to be, notice how I picked this. That is an accident. You can pick any number and it will give you the correct answer. It does not have to be. I just happened to pick 24. That's an accident. That just happened to be. Do not expect this to happen every time. I don't know how I did that I picked the right numbers. I should redo this question because you'll say, oh, it's easy. You just pick the number. No, you can pick any number. You don't know if it's the right one or not, but it'll give you the right answer. Anyways, let's go on. So this was page 20. This is really hard, guys. This is not easy, so don't despair. Just stick with it. Kind of rewind maybe the video a few minutes and look at it again. Sometimes it makes more sense when you see it over and over again. Anyways, we'll practice in class. And now page 21. Integer problems. These are all integers. Integers are whole numbers, including 0, including negative numbers. Look up consecutive integers in section 2.5, which is at the end of your book, but remember they're one after another, or they're next to each other on the number line. Consecutive means next. Okay. Add the definition using positive or using negative. Now we added that to the word bank in the beginning of our lesson. Okay, your equation solving skills can be useful for solving integer puzzle type problems. Follow this outline. So we're going to do an outline to organize your work, which is the most important thing in math, is to be organizing your work. Here are the steps. Identify the variable. Call it n. So you say let n equal a number. I'm just giving you an example. It could be any letter, right? Call it X, Y, whatever. You're assigning a variable, okay? Write the equation. An equation is something on the left side equals something on the right side. So variable, okay? Solve it. Okay, that's the hard part. Find the variable. X is a number, whatever it is. We find out the number for our variable. Okay, answer the question, use words. A lot of students think in math we don't have to do that. Yes, we do. Check your solution in the original problem. So sometimes we do check. It's always in the original problem. Okay, let's write number 2, the sum. Remember, sum is the symbol. It's adding, right? Adding 3 consecutive integers. The first one is n, the second one is n plus 1, the third one is n plus 2. They're next to each other on the number line. Yeah, you pick the first one, second, third. First, second, third. So it's always like that, okay? Because it's a 100 chart. And the sum is 114. What is the middle integer? We want this one. Middle, we want that one, okay? All right, let's write it up. The first one plus the second one plus the third one has to equal, when we add it, 114. How many n's? N, N, N. We got 3 n's. Yeah, so you combine your letters, your variables. Okay, I should say let n equal first number, because I'm identifying the variable. See how it says identify the variable. So I've done that. I wrote an equation. Here's the equation. Now we're going to solve it. So let n be the first number. Here's our first number. Write an equation, solve it. And so we have +1 + 2 is +3. Got that one, and that one equals 114. So you draw your line. We're going to start with the 3. The 3 has to go over here, so we subtract it, opposite. So it's added, it's subtracted. Draw a line. +3 - 3 is gone. Bring down your 3n. Bring down your equal sign. 114 - 3, I believe, is 111. Last step, this is a multiplication. Undo the multiplication by dividing by that number. Both sides, always both sides, left side, right side. Bring down your n. Bring down your equal sign. 111 divided by 3, I believe is 37. Okay, use your calculator. There it is. Okay, just to show you how I did that. So a fraction is a division. Okay, is this the answer? No. Answer the question, because we are not finished. Answer the question. The question, what is the middle integer? The middle is n + 1. And then we're going to answer the question. The middle number is 38. And now we're going to check. I have to find the first number, which is 37. So n is 37 plus 38. And the third one, the third number is 39. And when I add those, I need to get 114. Let's check it out. 37 plus 38 plus 39 is 114. There it is. So this is called check. Okay. All right. Wow. What a problem, right, guys? You're getting thrown into the world of algebra. Okay, let's do number 3. I'm going to have you do number 4 and 5 for homework. Actually, you know what? I should do this one because it's got a negative. Oh, this one has a negative too. Okay, let's do number 3 in video. One number is 8 more than another. Their sum is -42. Find the greater number. Okay. Let n equal, there's 2 numbers, right? There are 2 numbers. One number is 8 more than another. I'm going to say let n be the first number. And so that's called identifying the variable. You can call it X, Y, Z, N, A, B, whatever letter you want. N stands for number. So to me, that makes the most sense. So you're identifying the variable. Let n be the first number. Then I'm going to say n + 1 is second number. No, nope. Then these are not consecutive. Okay, so they're not next to each other on the number line because one number is 8 more than the other. So the other number is n + 8. That's why you're learning this. Yeah. 5 more than a number. Number plus 5. 5 less than a number minus 5. So you're learning that to write your equations. Okay, so n plus 8 is the other number. Notice how organized that is to write down what the letters mean, right? The first number is your n. I always start out with that. And then I build my second number around that first number using the clues that they're giving me. Yeah, one number is 8 more than the first one. So now I'm going to write my equation. Because I know their sum is negative 42. So if I add something up, it becomes negative 42. So I have n plus 8 has to be negative 42. 2n, because we have 1 here and 1 here, 2n plus 8 equals negative 42. Draw your line, subtract 8 on both sides, opposite of this. Your 8 goes over here. So we have 2n. The answer is negative 50. And divide by 2. N is negative 25. That's your first number. So n is negative. So it says find the greater number. Okay, so n plus 8. So I'm going to make me a little alcove here. N plus 8 is negative 25 plus 8 is negative. So that's why we know how to add and subtract integer. It's negative 17. So which one is the bigger number? Greater number. Negative 25 or negative 17? This is the greater number. So my answer is this. So I'm going to put that here. Okay, and if I add, and then we're going to check. So we have a little room left to check. When we add negative 17 plus negative 25, it should be negative 42. Their sum is negative 42, and it is. Okay. Negative 17 plus negative 25 is indeed negative 42. You're adding two negative numbers, it goes further to the left on the number line. Very good. Wow, what a complicated mess this is, huh? Now your job is to do number 4 and 5. These are consecutive. Consecutive means, so this is homework and this is homework. Consecutive means they're next to each other. I'm going to start you up. Let n be the first number. Then I always like to use let, and then n plus 1 is the second number. Because they're consecutive next to each other. And n plus 2 is the third number. And their sum is negative 54. So my equation, I'll just get you started on that, is n plus the second one. I only know that. Plus, sum means plus, right? Sum. N plus 2 equals negative 54. Now your job is to solve. And on this one, I'm just letting you try yourself, okay? So consecutive is always easy because you're just adding 1 to the original and add 2 and however many you have, okay? And then the sum is -54. This one is a little more tricky because it says the sum of 3 more than a number and twice the same. Oh, this one is going to be tricky. It's hard, but let me see if you can figure it out. Okay, I think we're almost done here. Yep. So on your homework, you also need your vocabulary. So I'm going to go over to, this is homework, always. Okay. And you're done with this booklet after this video and doing your homework. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.